In 1981, Prince was a rising star but still relatively unknown. He'd successfully opened for Rick James the year before, but felt constrained performing for largely black audiences. Inspired by Sly and the Family Stone, Prince wanted a multiracial, mixed-gender group that appealed to diverse audiences. Or as guitarist Des Dickerson put it, a rainbow coalition kind of band. Always looking for up-and-coming talent, Mick Jagger saw Prince in New York City and was impressed, later inviting him to open for the Rolling Stones tour in 1981. Prince saw this as his chance to finally break through to white rock audiences. Black artists had opened for the Stones in the past, and Prince privately referred to his band as the Black Rolling Stones, so the match made sense to everyone involved. The first show at the LA Coliseum had 94,000 people in attendance. It was a rough-looking crowd, with a lot of bikers. They'd been drinking for hours in the hot sun and were becoming impatient. They wanted to see the Stones, and they definitely weren't prepared for Prince's hypersexualized version of funk rock. Prince appeared on stage in his standard outfit at the time: a trench coat, tuxedo shirt, black bikini briefs, leg warmers, and boots with 4-inch heels. According to drummer Bobby Z, the crowd didn't respond well at first. We start out with, I think, Uptown, and they hear us singing falsetto. They're not interested, they're not willing, they're certainly not tolerant. You've got 3 brothers up there. You've got weird-looking white people in the back. It's new age, weird, punky funk rock. All the stuff they don't want to know about or be interested in. They just want the blues or rock and roll. Sensing the mood, Prince ended the song early and switched to the more rock-oriented Bambi, which ends with a blazing guitar solo. He also dropped his falsetto in favor of his regular voice to give the song a heavier edge. There was mostly applause afterwards. So far, so good. It wasn't until the third song, Jack You Off, that things really started to go off the rails. Prince ended the song by saying to the crowd, quote, "As a matter of fact, you can jack me off." The front rows started booing loudly while hurling racist and homophobic insults. This was accompanied by a sea of middle fingers. Eventually, the crowd calmed down and the band resumed playing. It was at this point people started throwing things. Keyboardist Matt Fink describes this scene. "They're throwing whatever they can get their hands on. So here we are being pummeled with food. I got hit in the side of my head with a crumpled up Coca-Cola can. I saw a fifth of Jack Daniels whiz by Prince's face. Must have missed his face by less than 1/4 of an inch." Bassist Brown Mark was also pummeled with objects. A bag of fried chicken hit him in the shoulder, and his bass was knocked out of tune by a grapefruit. Prince had never encountered a hostile audience before. Enraged, he left before the end of the set, with the band quickly following. Prince's childhood friend and videographer at the time, Morris Day, went backstage to check on him. Prince was unprepared and shocked. This was to be his big moment. Just as his opening set had outshone Rick James, he was sure he could outshine the Stones. When I got to the dressing room, Prince was shaken to his core. Hadn't ever seen him like this. Prince immediately left the Coliseum and flew home to Minneapolis. He didn't even wait for the band. Recalling the performance years later, Prince had this to say: "The reason I left was because I didn't want to play anymore. I just wanted to fight. I was really angry. I'm sure wearing underwear and a trench coat didn't help matters. But if you throw trash at anybody, it's because you weren't trained right at home." Several people called Prince and tried to convince him to come back for the second show, including Mick Jagger. I talked to Prince on the phone after he got cans thrown at him in LA. He said he didn't want to do any more shows. "God, I got thousands of bottles and cans thrown at me. Every kind of debris." I told him, "If you get to be a really big headliner, you have to be prepared for people to throw bottles at you in the night." Des Dickerson talked to him as well. I told Prince I'd played in racist biker bars and had been attacked even worse. I said, "You can't let them run you out of town." He didn't care. Eventually, Prince agreed to return to LA for the second show. He defiantly came on stage in the same outfit and played the exact same songs, including the risque number Jack You Off. According to keyboardist Lisa Coleman, things didn't go much better. "We hit the stage and it was like a blood sport. The second day they'd actually planned it. Let's boo these people. They'd brought things: shoes, apples, oranges. Even crazier, Dickerson remembers a bag of raw chicken parts being thrown at the band. The first thing I saw was a plastic bag full of old gray chicken parts. Someone had taken the time to take the chicken out of the refrigerator on Friday and let it sit in the sun for 2 days. It was pretty disgusting." Despite the onslaught, Prince stood his ground. He closed with "Why You Want to Treat Me So Bad," giving the song a whole new meaning. The short set ended to scattered applause, and he never opened for another band again. Ain't nobody bad like Prince.